A window screen slashed open in the middle of the night. Someone climbs through, dressed all in black, face covered, tape wrapped around their shoes. They wait in the living room, listening, until they hear snoring from the bedroom. Then they move, slowly, quietly, into the room where two people are sleeping. The next morning, family members can't reach them. Phone calls go to voicemail. They miss church. They miss a band performance. Something's wrong. When police finally check the house, they find a scene so horrific, the district attorney will call it the most depraved murder he's ever seen in his career. Two elderly people, stabbed over 60 times each, their bodies mutilated, items placed inside them. And here's the strangest part. No evidence. None. No fingerprints. No DNA. No footprints. Nothing. The killer planned this perfectly and then disappeared. For 2 months, police have nothing. No leads. No suspects. No idea who could do something this brutal. Then a phone call changes everything. A teenage boy calling to report his best friend. The friend who bragged about the murders, who described every detail, who said it was the best feeling of his entire life. The killer? 15 years old, and 5 years earlier, he'd been a hero. Saved his father's life with CPR, got an award from the Red Cross. Now he's confessing to one of the most horrific crimes the town has ever seen. This is his story. Davis, California. College town, safe, quiet, one of the best places to live in the entire state. Home to about 70,000 people, dominated by UC Davis. Great schools, low crime, the kind of place where people don't lock their doors. In 2013, 2 people living there seemed to have it all. Oliver Northup. Everyone called him Chip, 87 years old. World War II veteran, longtime attorney, founding member of the local Unitarian Church. And Chip was also a musician, played guitar and sang with a folk band called the Pewta Creek Crawdads, been performing since the 60s, never missed a show. Claudia Maupin, 76, pastoral associate at the church, active in local theater, the kind of person who made everyone feel special. Claudia had been married twice before, looking for love again, and she told her daughter, "My husband is at the Unitarian Church." She was right. That's where she met Chip. Both had been married multiple times. Both had big families. Chip had 6 kids plus 2 stepkids. Claudia had 3. When they got married in 1996, their families blended perfectly. 11 kids total, 14 grandkids, 8 great-grandkids. The church was packed at their wedding. Everyone loved them. For 17 years, they lived this idyllic life, surrounded by family, active in their community, happy. Until April 13th, 2013, the night everything changed. Chip and Claudia don't show up for church. Strange. They're always there, never miss. Family tries calling. Both phones go to voicemail. Still, no one's too worried yet. Maybe they slept in. Maybe they took a trip. But then Chip misses his band performance that afternoon. Now people are concerned. Chip's been playing with this band for decades. He doesn't just not show up. His son Robert goes to check on them. Rings the doorbell. No answer. Looks through the windows. Everything seems normal. Robert has a key but doesn't want to invade their privacy. Figures they'll turn up. Evening comes, still nothing. Claudia's daughter Laura decides to go back. Rings the bell again, no answer. She walks around to the back of the condo, and that's when she sees it. A window open, the screen slashed. She looks inside, and immediately knows something's terribly wrong. Blood. Everywhere, on the couch, the carpet, the furniture. She calls police. They arrive within minutes. What they find inside is worse than anyone imagined. Chip and Claudia, both dead in their bed, stabbed repeatedly, over and over and over. Chip, 61 stab wounds. Claudia, 67. 128 stab wounds total. But it doesn't stop there. The bodies have been mutilated, dissected, a cell phone placed inside Claudia's stomach, a drinking glass inside Chip's. The district attorney will later say it's the most horrific thing he's ever seen. And here's what terrifies investigators. There's no evidence. None. No fingerprints, no DNA, no footprints, nothing stolen, no apparent motive. Whoever did this planned it perfectly. 25 FBI agents flood the neighborhood, interviewing everyone, looking for any clue. Nothing. They wonder if it's personal. Someone close to the couple, maybe family. They focus on Chip's son Robert and his 2 sons. One of them has schizophrenia. Robert has a key to the condo. They question them for hours, 8 hours one day, 6 the next. Search Robert's house. Find carpets that were steam cleaned the same day as the murders. Find a drawing by his son Tony, a man with a knife standing over 2 children in a bed. Looks bad, but it's all coincidence. Bad timing. The family cooperates fully. They have nothing to hide, and eventually, police clear them. But the damage is done. Tony feels persecuted, accused. Even after being cleared, neighbors still suspect him. 3 years later, Tony will take his own life. Meanwhile, the real killer is walking free, living his normal life, and bragging about what he did. 2 months pass, no progress, case going cold. Then on June 17th, police get a call. Anonymous tip from a 17-year-old high school student. He says his best friend committed the murders, and he knows details. Details only the killer would know. The friend's name? Daniel Marsh, 16 years old. Police recognize the name immediately. 5 years earlier, Daniel Marsh was a hero. At age 10, he saved his father's life. His dad had a heart attack. Daniel performed CPR, brought him back. Got an award from the American Red Cross. Made the news. Local hero. Now he's being accused of a double murder. Police bring Daniel in for questioning. June 17th, he's calm, cooperative, happy to help. He says he doesn't know anything, just what everyone else knows. Someone broke in, killed an elderly couple. Detectives spend 3 hours talking to him, learning about his life. Parents divorced when he was young. His mom had an affair, left his dad for Daniel's kindergarten teacher. Daniel hated that teacher. At age 10, he fantasized about killing her, strangling her, slitting her throat. He told his therapist about these thoughts, got diagnosed with adjustment disorder, started seeing counselors, got put on medication, Prozac, then Celexa, then Lexapro, then back to Prozac. Had eating disorders, anorexia, got hospitalized for 25 days, attempted suicide 4 times. But through all of this, Daniel insists he knows nothing about the murders. Then detectives play him a recording, his friends, talking about what Daniel told them. And Daniel's story falls apart. He starts crying, then confessing. Every time I look at someone, I see flashes of me killing them. The detective asks, "How would you kill me?" Daniel doesn't hesitate. "Choke you with your tie. Beat your face into the mirror until it breaks. Use the glass to cut your arteries. Gouge your eyes out. Smash your face into the wall." Then he adds, "It's nothing personal." Daniel tells them everything. April 13th, between 2 and 3 in the morning, he left his mother's house. He'd been planning this for years, since he was 10 years old, fantasizing about killing, about torture. He dressed all in black mask, gloves, wrapped tape around his shoes so he wouldn't leave footprints, grabbed a 6-inch knife and started walking. He checked 40 to 50 houses, looking for an open window, an unlocked door, any way in. Finally found one, a window with a screen he could cut, at 4006 Cowell Boulevard, 2 doors down from where his dad lived. He climbed through, sat in the living room, waiting, listening, until he heard snoring. Then he walked into the bedroom, stood over the bed, watching them sleep, deciding how he would kill them. Claudia woke up, saw him, started screaming. He stabbed her. Over and over, she begged for her life. Chip woke up, Daniel stabbed him too, again and again. He didn't stop when they died. He kept going, curious, experimenting. He dissected them, pulled things out, put things inside them. It felt right, he tells detectives. Then he describes how it felt. Pure happiness, adrenaline, dopamine, all rushing over me. It was amazing. He says the feeling lasted for weeks. Looking back, the signs were everywhere. Since age 10, Daniel had violent fantasies. Told therapists, told counselors, told friends. At 11, he said he wanted to make these fantasies reality. He started watching gore videos online. People getting beheaded, tortured, killed. His friend would walk into his room, find him watching, just sitting there, fascinated. He researched serial killers, Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, wanted to be like them. He started hurting animals, strangled a cat to death in the street, said he just wanted to, asked his friend if he could kill his dog too, set fires. In 2013, just months before the murders, he told a school counselor about his thoughts, about wanting to kill classmates, maybe even a school shooting. Said he had full confidence he could hurt people. Police were called twice. Daniel was hospitalized, but each time, authorities determined he posed no danger. Let him go. Friends knew. They knew he wanted to kill. They knew he thought about it constantly. And after the murders, Daniel told them, bragged about it, described every detail. Said it was the best experience of his life. His friends were scared, didn't know if he was telling the truth, didn't know what he'd do if they reported him. So they stayed quiet for 2 months, until finally one of them called police. September 2014, Daniel Marsh goes on trial. He's 17 now. Charged as an adult. 2 counts first-degree murder, special enhancements for torture, lying in wait, using a deadly weapon. His defense? The medications made him do it. He was temporarily insane. But prosecutors say no. This was planned, methodical. He taped his shoes, wore gloves, left no evidence. A psychiatrist evaluates Daniel, gives him a test. The psychopathy checklist. Maximum score, 40. Daniel scores 35.8. One of the highest scores the psychiatrist has ever seen. Another expert says Daniel is a sexual sadist, gets pleasure from inflicting pain. The jury deliberates, less than 2 hours, guilty on all counts. 4 days later, sane, not insane. Judge sentences him to the maximum, 52 years to life. He's eligible for parole after 25 years. He'll be in his early 40s. But here's where it gets complicated. California keeps passing new laws about juvenile offenders. Daniel's lawyers keep appealing, trying to get his conviction overturned, trying to get him released. 2016, Proposition 57 says juveniles should be tried in juvenile court first. 2017, Senate Bill 1391 says kids under 16 can't be tried as adults. Daniel's defense argues these laws should apply to him retroactively. If they do, he could be released at age 25. That's 2022. The victims' families are horrified. They fight back. Hard. Claudia's daughter gives interviews. Chip's daughter speaks at press conferences. Over 300 citizens of Davis write letters, begging the court not to release him. They're terrified, convinced he'll kill again. And they might be right, because while Daniel's in prison, he's not getting better. He gets tattoos of his victim's wounds, of the crime scene. He talks to therapists, says he can't remember the murders, but later admits that's a lie. He gives a TED Talk from prison called Embracing Our Humanity, says he deserves a second chance. The victims' families are outraged. The legal battles drag on for years, hearing after hearing, appeal after appeal. Finally, in September 2021, the appeals court makes a decision. Daniel Marsh's conviction stands. He stays in prison. He serves his full sentence. The families breathe a sigh of relief. But Daniel will still be eligible for parole in 2038. He'll be 41 years old. Will he get out? No one knows. The FBI agent who interrogated him says Daniel is in his top 3 scariest people he's ever met. Says he's convinced Daniel is a serial killer in the making, that if he'd never been caught, he would have killed again and again. Daniel Marsh was 15 when he murdered Chip Northup and Claudia Maupin, but he'd been planning it since he was 10. 5 years of fantasies, 5 years of warning signs, 5 years of people knowing something was wrong. But no one stopped him. Now, 2 beloved members of their community are gone, brutally murdered in their own home. Their families spent years fighting, not just for justice, but to keep Daniel behind bars. This case changed California law, changed how we think about juvenile offenders, changed the debate about redemption versus public safety. Can a 15-year-old who commits such a horrific crime ever be rehabilitated? Should we even try? These are questions with no easy answers. What we know for sure is this: Chip and Claudia lived good lives. They were loved. They made their community better. And they died in the most unimaginable way, at the hands of a teenager who lived 2 doors down. A teenager who scored off the charts on psychopathy, who told detectives killing them was pure happiness. A teenager who, if released, could kill again. This is Case File Chronicle, and this was the story of Daniel Marsh, from hero at age 10 to convicted murderer at 15, and the legal battle that continues today. He's still in prison, serving his sentence, eligible for parole in 2038. The families continue to fight, to make sure their voices are heard, to protect their community, and to remember Chip and Claudia, not for how they died, but for how they lived.